Hello, my Aquarius friends. This is Kristen Redman, Astrological Intuitive, and we are going to go over what influences are out there in the skies that are going to be impacting you for the year of 2019. And one of the biggest areas that's going to be impacted is your area of finances. This is thanks to Jupiter moving into its home sign of Sagittarius. And let me tell you, when that happens, it's like the universe parties, all right? Because Jupiter moves into a new sign every 18 months. So it's been 12 years since it's been home to its sign of Sagittarius. And in that 12-year cycle, it's like, how do I explain it? So it comes home and it's happy and it wants to share the wealth because Jupiter is such a generous and loving planet and it's so full of luck. And all it wants to do, because it's so generous, is bestow that luck on all of us down here waiting, especially when it comes home to its home sign of Sagittarius, because it's like, yeah, making it rain blessings up in here, that's what it does. So where that's making the biggest impact for you is your house of finances, everything that you hold of value. So that's a pretty good place to be getting the, making it rain up in here in your chart is in that area. This is a 12-year cycle that's going to directly impact your financial health moving forward. So you are going to find that you are in that right place at the right time, opportunities. Now, the thing that goes with this, though, my Aquarian friends, is that how these opportunities appear is through new networks and friends and communities that you surround yourself with. Okay, you're getting pushed to go outside of your box a little bit and find new friends and new places, because through them open up these new opportunities that really bring this window of blessing for financial health to come in. A lot of that is directly tied with career too, because in career I see that there's a lot of energy that's stagnated for Aquarius, and you're ready for something new. So I see a lot of Aquarians even totally striking out and going in a different direction than they have in the past. And a lot of that comes from Mars and Scorpio. And that's going to be, Mars is the engine that pushes us and the engine that drives us. And Mars right now in the sky is going to be moving into Aries. Mars, the engine, has been stagnated too. I tell you what, last summer it went through a total stall out period as it was in its retrograde phase in your sign of Aquarius. So you felt stalled. You still feel stalled from that energy. And now it's gone direct and it's going forward and it's finally getting back on track to where it needs to be. And we're starting 2019 out on that energy where the engine is firing on all cylinders. Now, that engine, okay, November 19th through January 3rd is pushing you into going new directions so you don't stall out anymore. Because when you stall out, everything in your life is stalling out. And it's directly linked with your career. So you're feeling this push for something new to come in, right? I know you're feeling it. It's about fitting, that's what it is too, right? So this is an energy that's reminding you that you need to fit your work into your life. How did I write this? Fitting work into a life you love rather than just living to work, right? Because that's the way you've been feeling, like you're just living to work every single day. And now it's meant to work the other way around. Work needs to fit into your life and make those areas to find that work-life balance a little bit stronger, because the relationships have suffered. And this is a year where that energy gets shifted around. You reprioritize, then the relationships come into focus a little bit more. That's thanks to the eclipses that are out there in the sky. See, in astrology, we always look to see where the eclipses are impacting your chart, because that's where the new beginnings are happening. And so for you this year, especially the January 21st one, This is bringing new energy through for these relationships. Now, if this is something where you are setting out into a new career direction, looking for something new, new job, what have you, it definitely makes a positive impact on the relationships as well. So, yeah. So anyway, back to those eclipses. Sorry. I was just looking at several different notes I had on that because they all tie together. But those eclipses happen, okay, we have the first one that starts January 6th. Then the lunar eclipse side of it is the 21st, that one that really impacts you. But January 6th, July 17th, and December 26th. Pay attention to what's happening around you in that time frame, okay? Because what's happening out there around you is almost like a billboard from the universe that's saying, pay attention to this sign. This is what you need to do to make the changes, to bring these new beginnings, because that's the whole point of these eclipses, right? Look at what's happening around you, because it's definitely going to lead you to something new and something good. Now, not only are these eclipses bringing through that new energy for the career that directly impacts the finances, right? Because that's where some big shifts are happening this year. But we also have Saturn that's also in that house, that 10th house of career. That started last year. So there was this like sobering influence that happened. It's a 30-year cycle. It hasn't been there for 30 years. Came around and said, I really need to make some changes because I don't see myself doing this for the next 30 years. There ain't no way this is going to be happening. Saturn is going to stay there until 2020, and when it leaves, it wants to make sure the next 30 years of your career, or less, depending on what age you are, it's going to be something that you love and is going to love you and your life and the people in it in return. All right, that's the positive thing. Saturn comes through and it makes sure it has a solid, stable foundation under it. So not only is that happening, but Saturn is also the planet of karma. So you are releasing karmic debts that are directly linked to your finances through your career. Hope that makes sense. But it's going to be released, right? Pay attention to those eclipses because they'll show you one way or another which way it's going to be going. Another thing that we have happening is in the house of home and family this year. We have an 82-year cycle that's going to be happening in this area for you in the 4th house of home and family. Uranus comes through and it's a slow-moving planet. So it takes 82 years to go around the wheel. And it lands in this house of home and family where it's never been for you. And as it comes through, it wants to free us and liberate us. So you can see how this is going to go one of two ways, okay? It depends on where you're at in your life, in your own situation, okay? But Uranus creates upheaval and a little bit of craziness and chaos. But what it's trying to do is ultimately bring you into an area that's meant to be for where your soul is now. Not where your soul was 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, but what's more fitting for you now. So some people may feel a push to completely restructure their family. Maybe it's about moving into a new home. Maybe it's about starting a new family. Maybe it's about healing some pretty big wounds in an existing family. But no matter what, home takes on a new look through the 7-year process as Uranus goes through that 4th house of yours. Now, I know that's a little bit of the blanket statement and it sounds a little bit ominous there. It would all depend on what your situation is and what your personal birth chart says. I would say would be more indicative of like what is really happening there. This is a general overall view for Aquarius. To dig into your own personal chart is different because that's completely honed into you and your mission this lifetime. That's what I do. I'm an astrologer, and I always do these readings. I love to encourage people to get a reading at the beginning of every year because it helps you see what the plan is out there and where it's going specifically for you. I do a $77 special every year. Link is below. I do Skype readings, phone readings, in-person readings. Get a hold of me and we'll see what your chart and what your blueprint is saying you're meant to do at this point in your life as well. But those are overall things that are happening for our Aquarian friends. Now let's look at specific birthdays, okay? If your birthday doesn't fall in here, that's okay. I mean, you may find that you fit in a little bit more with one of these than the others, because you're all Aquarius, right? So you all have this energy, and some of it may be fitting for you more. But as a general rule, if your birthday is January 20th to the 27th, that Uranus, which is also your ruling planet, okay, that planet that frees us and liberates us from things that just don't work anymore for where we're at in our life now, right? The one that's not about 5 years ago or 10 years ago or 20 years ago. It's about what's right now. That is the planet that keeps you as an Aquarius such a free spirit, right? You don't follow crowds. You don't do what everybody else is doing. You're an Aquarius, right? You're your own unique individual person. And that's exactly the same energy that your ruling planet Uranus does. Uranus out there in the sky is going to be squaring your uh, Aries sun or Aquarius sun. And what that means, what that talks down to, is that this is definitely going to be a year you want to break free of some cycles that ain't working no more. I tell you what, you were like, I am not having it. Follow that inner rebel, okay? Because it's ultimately trying to lead you to something that's better and more fitting and more authentic for who you are. Because I have a feeling some of that's been buried a little bit. Listen to what your soul's telling you, because it's going to lead you in the right direction. It's your ruling planet, Now, if your birthday is February 1st to the 19th, this is an extremely lucky year, because that lucky Jupiter that we talked about that moved home to Sagittarius, that's working on your financial sector this year, not only is it working on your finances for this year to better them and better your situation, it's also wanting to bring you just overall good luck in general. It wants to make it rain all up in every area of your life. So know that as that started November 8th of 2018, and then it goes through December 3rd of this year of 2019, this is going to be a year where really amazing opportunities pop up for you. But remember, there's that caveat. It's that you have to open yourself up to new networks and people that are around you, new people to network with. Because with that comes the new energy and the new luck and the new opportunities. All right, all hand in hand, goes hand in hand. Now, if your birthday is February 17th through the 19th, those 2 days here, that Uranus, that freedom planet, is working with your sun as well. So it's that same energy as I said before, the January 20th to 27th ones. This one is a more harmonious one, where the square sun one from the 20th to the 27th, that's going to be a little bit more in your face. It is. It's going to be a little more obvious to you. But this one is going to work with you a little bit more harmoniously, and it's going to say, hey, we need to be our true self too. I have to do what's best for me. I need to break free of these ruts, and there's a push behind to make that happen this year, to make sure that it comes through. 2019 can be an amazing year for all of us. 2018 was about release. 2017 was about letting go. There's so much that's happened in the past couple of years that's been very hard on our spiritual selves and our souls, I tell you what. And this is a year of recouping it. There's so much earth energy that's around us to balance this out, to ground us, to make a good solid feet for the future moving forward. Okay, 2020 is going to be an amazing, amazing year for everybody. And this is a year where we tie up those loose ends. So if your loose ends have to do with not being the true, authentic you, there's a big push, Aquarius, to make sure that you listen to the spiritual networks that are trying to communicate to you in your conscious life, and also through your sleeping dreams, all right, because they're trying to help guide you to an area of better understanding. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe too. You can watch my weekly videos on what's happening out there in the skies. Check out my library there and see various ones and see if it links up with certain times that have happened in your life, and if it speaks to you. Be sure to follow me on Facebook as well. I post little random tidbits on what's happening out there and how it affects us in our daily lives, and spiritual insights, and just little things to help get us through this little thing called life here. So thank you so much for watching, and I wish you all a blessed and wonderful new year. Thank you.